are a force to be reckoned with.
I was thinking about people who, maybe they didn't like their name. Maybe their name, their birth name, that they were given doesn't have a good meaning. It's like, how do we, can you ask God for a new name? And go ahead and share a little bit about that.
Actually, I wanted to go back. I just realized I didn't fully answer your other question. Like, why did we write this? So we've been training in this for a while. And it kind of came down to two things. One, I'm like, first of all, it's like, Deanna, if we didn't write the book, we've been training on this for so long, someone else is going to take this and write it. So we need to at least write it. But second of all, it really had to do with, honestly, my heart for what is happening with the identity crisis in our generation.
Yes.
There's so many people right now. I feel like it's so prominent where people don't know who they are at an even basic core biological level. They don't know who they are. They're trying to change their names, or they don't. And there's such a lack of identity. Honestly, I believe part of it is because once you removed the teaching of being created in the public school, right? If no one designed me, then who defines me? And so that was taken out 50, 60 years ago. And I think that was a contributor to the identity crisis we have today, because so many people are like, I don't know who I am. Who am I? Who defines me? And so people are trying to find that out. Well, one of the things we like to say in Prophetic Company is that the truest thing about you in the universe is who God says you are.
Yes.
And if that's the truest thing about you, how do I know who God says I am? And so we believe that one of the most prominent ways to discover is through that prophetic meaning, the prophetic insight, the voice and the breath of heaven speaking to you through your names. And again, we have different ways we can recognize that. So part of my reasoning for writing this book, honestly, Julie, was to equip people with tangible tools that are prophetic, that they can discover who heaven says they are, so that they can know without a shadow of a doubt. And then once they know who heaven says they are, they can war from that identity place. They can start walking in the fullness, and they can see that purpose and that destiny become unfolded and start to become fulfilled. And so I wanted to help create a resource that I believe, we feel like there's a lot of people protesting all the problems right now, even Christians. I see almost this picture of like Christians standing outside the gates and throwing rocks, and, in a metaphor, they're throwing all the things that are wrong, rather than being reformers going into the system and saying, this is actually what God is saying. These are the heavenly solutions to these earthly problems. And that's my heart, is to really, the power in a name is to equip the body with a heavenly solution, so that people can know, every son and daughter can know who they truly are, so they can walk in that identity, so they can fulfill the purpose that God has for them.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you're right. We are in an identity crisis, and we have been for years. People are always like, what am I? Am I, even male or female, or, all the stuff that's been thrown into our culture and our children.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is all about that next generation. And honestly,
yes,
this is like, I think people understand that there's a value to knowing your identity, or your even believers. But I don't know that people always have language to discover who God says they are uniquely. And this is where I feel like the power in a name is almost like the tip of a spear. It actually is like, it's that pointed place. I mean, there's other ways that we can prophetically discern who heaven says we are. We can see it in the scripture. We'll talk about that a little bit too. But there is very unique, personal, and prophetic ways that we can learn who heaven says we are. And so again, that was really my heart. And honestly, like you said, this next generation, like the tools that people are going to learn today, it's for ourselves, but it's also tools we can use to apply for the next generation. If you're a teacher in a school, if you work with youth, if your kids have friends, anybody you run into, you can use these amazing prophetic and practical tools to start calling forth people's heavenly identity.
Oh, that's so good.